Ooh, hey. Welcome to Biggest Geekus. We are your hosts. I am Joe.
And I'm Randy.
This is episode 168 of the show. And the date is Tuesday, December 5th, 2023.
What's up?
Not much. I had it running in YouTube in the background, so I had to turn it off.
Oh,
Good thing is I've got my headphones plugged in,
headphones.
and um, it wasn't playing through the speakers, so you didn't get echo, which is good because we
That
don't
is
want echo.
right. So I'm looking at Twitch, and I don't know how to exactly shut that off, but it ain't making any sound, so that's good. I think I muted it.
Okay, so you don't.
I'm observing all things, dude. I'm being super computer guy tonight. Oh yeah, look at me observe.
Okie dokie. We will see. We will see.
Uh,
So I guess we didn't do any gaming this past week. You might have, but I did not.
did I game this past weekend? I did not. I've been working, getting ready for the party. We have the party
You
soon.
what?
We're having a party soon, man. Under a week, right?
Yes.
A little over a week away.
Yes.
So very exciting.
I like the food.
Food shall be there. The white elephant gift shall be there. I shall be there, so it shall be a joyous occasion.
Occasion. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So if anyone happened to take note of the episode's title, Randy sent me an outline called Topic Chaos because he just had a bunch of topics that he threw together. Instead of a topic, no unifying theme.
Throwing stuff, see what sticks to the wall.
Yeah. So I switched that around to call it a chaos of topics. So officially, a group of topics is now officially known as a chaos.
Nice.
Kind of like a murder of crows.
It's a
Now,
chaos,
of topics. Yeah.
Well, Mac Thompson showed in right off the bat, was number one. Patrick Demo was two. Then Point Blank. We got a handful of other folks. DM Blackwall, who will be a guest soon in our show in a couple of weeks. L's in the house, it looks like. Who am I missing? I think I saw Flady. Arn Man's here. We're getting the skilled Mac Daddies showing up. So that's cool. Pretty good crowd to start off. Shadow and Son. So I hope Joe said he got Shadow and Cal and Charlotte their PDFs. So hopefully everybody is having a good chance to enjoy the Horde Wars Basic.
Yes. Everybody got their link.
Yeah, everybody should be all linked up. Joe was very savvy and sent them out in multiple social media formats.
Yeah.
Because he's cool like that. We're going to give 3 more away tonight. 3 weeks away from Christmas. So
yes, there were folks that just weren't up to doing the email thing. They wanted to be diverse.
Right. Martinson, what's up, brother? Arnman proffers another name, Joe. He says, how about a homicide of topics?
Too many syllables.
Too many syllables. Oh, looks like Shadow's going to be bouncing on us. He gets a free PDF and he's out. Can't stay long. Got to do the show with Bloodworth. I see how we rate.
Well, no, he's not talking about watching it. He's talking about being on there with him. I mean, he could say, Bloodworth, you must wait until I'm done over here.
Which is what he should do. No,
this is what he should do.
Oh, Point Blank has given a great idea for a White Elephant gift, Strixhaven book. That would not get stolen.
No.
No one would steal it at our house.
No. So, it would be the last, well, for us gamers, it would be the last thing under the tree. I mean, the person who got it accidentally
would be sad, but then he would steal somebody else's crap. It would be, he would probably steal it even if it was just a bar of soap. Look at this. L's bouncing too. He says he's going to watch Shadow in 25 minutes. Oh, well, got to do what he's got to do.
Miss out.
It's all right, Shadow. We'll forgive you because you're one of our favorites. We're going to forgive you. That's the only reason. Oh, anyway. So, yeah, no gaming this week. I am on the downside of less than 2 weeks and I'll be done with school. Oh, what is Max saying?
Okay, I don't understand. Dragon issue 107, March 86. So they did 106 issues between January 1st, 1986 and March.
No. I think he's joking.
WE. Don't understand what that is. March.
I think that's an argument they were having earlier, and
Okay.
I think Max being
Maybe there was a typo on the issue number in the magazine that they probably corrected at some point, or may not have. Editing in our industry is one of the biggest issues.
Oh, Mac's going to show some sweet skills. He's going to split the screen and watch both of us.
Yeah.
I like Bloodworth. I don't get to watch his shows enough. And by the way, Shadow invited us. We need to get on his show.
WE is whatever.
Oh, okay. We need to get on Shadow's show. I'm going to get on there. I like chatting with him. I got to get on there. And Bloodworth too. I like that dude. I need to get to know him better. He seems like a pretty cool dude.
Maybe you should send him a perfumed card.
I might. You think that would get me on the show?
Well, you might end up getting to know him better. You never know.
He'd probably tell me, yeah, no, I'm good, hoser. So, I'd heard a little bit about that L. L's bringing up a good random topic. WotC revised D&D history at PAX. Yeah, I'd heard a little bit about that. And I also heard did you hear they had released accidentally on Instagram? Someone had posted the release date for the Player's Handbook for 2024.
No, I didn't.
The exact date, like May 21st or something.
They can't have it done by then. There's no way. Well, I guess they could.
Might be. I mean, all they're doing is, rewriting everything.
Well, there was a lady.
Really?
Yeah. So apparently at PAX this year, they claimed Dragon didn't come out until 86. So
that's some real gaming scholars right there, El.
Well, you had that one lady in that promotional video they did that claimed they never had any Asian characters in anything they did in the past.
Right.
So, and she's supposed to be some spokesperson. So
I mean, I would start at, say, I don't know, the original white box. If anybody looks at that,
there's at
least one Indian guy. There is a black man. Even in black and white art, they make it clear they got a wizard wearing a turban, so he's probably an Indian, East Indian. So I mean, get over yourself.
Yeah.
That's all garbage. It's just Connie. Oh, yes. I don't know her if that's her last name, but
Chum. I think he's making
he is. But he is. You're right. Speaking of Chum, I did watch Jaws 2 the other night.
Oh.
And Jaws is awesome. Jaws 2 is less than awesome, but it's not horrible. It's really not. I'll go one step further. It's more than a middling movie.
Oh, okay, because not horrible
right,
isn't a recommendation.
Joe hates when I say that. That is not a recommendation. Jaws 2 is decent. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it probably a 5 or a 6. I would give it a 6 because I love shark movies. I know Joe knows Jaws is like a top 2 or 3 movie for me.
Well, to me, there's really only 2 shark movies. Jaws, and Lake Placid, is that a shark too?
No, that's
is that something else? What's that? What is Lake Placid?
Oh, lady, you have to be kidding me. You got to be joking. No. He says
there wouldn't be a Jaws 2 if there wasn't a Jaws 1.
No. Jaws is the best. I wouldn't say I love Sharknado. Point Blank. Point Blank said the Meg. That's a good one.
Gator. It's a gator. Sorry.
Yeah. What else is good? 47 Feet Below is a decent one, and Deep Blue Sea. They're all pretty decent. Oh, what's up, Rejoice 85? Glad to see you, sister. Shark Tale. I don't know that.
That has some funny moments in it.
Yeah. I like that's the sharks from Finding Nemo, right?
Yeah.
That was good stuff. Mako, never saw that. I've watched a couple of them. I have seen Sharknado.
Okay, my depth of knowledge on shark movies is very. That's not deep.
Mine's not awesome, but I'm probably it's fairly shallow, but you're probably swimming even at 6 feet for my depth of knowledge.
Because
you're not.
To me, a shark movie isn't that much different from a slasher movie. It's just that the sharks are doing the slashing.
I'll say this: I was surprised that Jaws 2 did have some tense moments. And it was kind of neat to watch Brody, that would be Roy Scheider's character, deal with his PTSD. Because he did, which made sense. So
Right. I would, in general, a lot of slasher movies are similar. A lot of monster movies have a lot of similar flow through their movies.
mm-hmm.
I think with Jaws, they had more going for it than it just being about the shark eating people.
Oh, different topic. Iron Man says, I think the first issue of Dungeon came out in '86, though. I just checked it. You're correct.
Yeah, Dungeon, sure. Dragon, well, it wasn't. Well, wasn't Dungeon a spin-off of Dragon? They first did the
Well,
Dungeon articles in Dragon magazine first.
as Elle alludes to, we know it was originally the Dragon. And then at some
The
point,
Dragon, yeah.
then it became Dragon. And
Mhm.
Dungeon came out later because he would put adventures every once in a while in Dragon, and they
Mhm.
decided to do a pure adventure anthology.
Right.
So it was really good. Hey, what's up, Legion? Work all you want, brother. Yeah, I was a big fan of Dungeon.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of them still. Those are great stories. So
Yeah, and the Dragon, the first issue of it, maybe even the cover,
yeah,
but definitely all the interiors were black and white. There wasn't really any
the cover
color.
was it was some kind of colorful dragon, I believe. I saw the first issue for sale on eBay. I think it was a white backdrop with kind of a somewhat colorful dragon, maybe. I don't remember. Yes, correct. I do believe L's got the right of. He's got a little history,
right.
strategic review, and all that good stuff. Yeah,
first.
But Dungeon came in '86, and I loved it. I thought Dungeon was awesome. I wish I didn't buy it till around issue. Well, I didn't even hear about it till they were already like 8 or 10 issues in.
Right.
And so I bought a random few, and then I got a prescription, a lot like a subscription, but it goes right into your veins. I used to love it. I read it all the time. So
yeah. Iron Man says rightly, issue 250 was in 98. So from 86 to 98, 250 issues.
Yeah.
Whoever said that.
Trying to be kind to them. Maybe they were saying Dungeon, but they're probably just trying to change all sorts of stuff.
Or it's just ignorance. I think it's probably just ignorance. Unless there was some sort of, was there some, I haven't heard the speech or the conversation they were having. So
I haven't listened either.
It's possible that they're just ignorant.
It's very possible considering how
way back in '86, there were no political issues that they were discussing in the magazine.
No one cared about that.
There was the occasional article. There was one, I don't know which magazine this article was in, but they were talking about not just saying he for pronouns in their game books. Maybe they should have some she in there and switch back and forth and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I don't know if it was a serious article or letters article, letter to the editor type article, but it was silly.
Yeah. Mac Thompson, though he claims he's not bitter, said maybe they should shut up and hire actual experienced gamers to fix their crappy company. Yeah, you're not bitter at all.
Yeah.
And I fully agree with that statement. I'm 100% on board, Mac. Right, Iron Man. That's how it's going to be, baby. Very chaotic start.
Well, why don't we chaotic our way over to Goodman Games?
Oh, God. This will be the last time we do that.
Yeah, we don't ramble ever.
Oh, I'll tell you what. You're going to show them. Do you have the original flyer? Could you find that?
Yeah, hold on a second.
Yeah. I know this has been covered, but we've got it covered. I even talked about it a little bit on the Speakeasy with Ryan, David, and Kyle on the Speakeasy this past weekend. If you never checked the Speakeasy out, you should. It's a YouTube show coincides with coincides. What's the word I'm looking for? Coincides with the Nerd Cognito podcast. They talked about the Goodman Games.
So does he get any crap about calling it the Speakeasy? Because there's another YouTuber that calls his show one of his nights of the week at the Speakeasy as well.
I don't know. He told me the name, their first name, and I thought it sounded Precognito or post. Yeah, they wanted to go with precognito. I thought that would have been cooler. That would have had
Precog.
a good synergy with their nerd cognito. Welcome, Larry Elliott. Glad you are on, sir. Good to see you, brother.
Okay, so do you want?
If you have,
they have both pictures. I thought that they had deleted the other post.
Oh,
but
did they
didn't.
put them both? They put them both.
They have them. Yeah, well, that's a little bit better, but
yeah,
right. So we'll do the before and after.
Yeah, I think most folks know this. I got an email too. Oh, I should have pulled that up. I think I saved it. I got an email with the flyer, and I was like, "Oh, I might be interested in this." So, you gonna show them, Joe, or are you playing and navigating? Joe's working things out, man. He's working his magic.
Out.
He's making his magic happen. So what I'll do is I will sing you a song.
I will kick you off of this show.
Oh man.
I will kick you the hell off of here.
Oh, point blank is a good idea. We should have put the Goodman games on our thumbnail. We've got to learn to exploit the algorithm, Joe. Yes.
All right. So
that was
and we're going to put a link to the YouTube channel, Dungeons and Dragons. Is it Dungeons and Diversity or is it Dragons and Diversity?
Diversity and Dragons.
Oh, I had it completely wrong. Diversity and Dragons.
Joe, I agree with L. Change it.
Change what?
The
oh, sure. This is the
put that in there.
So this is the initial offering from Goodman Games and the Indie RPG Creator Summit.
Yep.
And after some badgering, it became. Oh, hold on. I was going to do the wrong thing.
It became nothing.
Became this.
A bunch of nobodies.
Now, after a lot of comments on Twitter about no diversity, but you look at this and they're all still very pale. There's a Asian dude here, and I don't know about this Tom Denick. It's an illustration, not a picture. So who knows what? Maybe he's who knows. He's a cartoon character, so a little more diversity there. So you have an Asian person, a cartoon character, and a bunch of white folk.
Yep. But dude, the key feature is they're not white males who probably majority are cis.
They still have two white men.
I know.
And one, this Carrie Joe Freudig man, which is questionable. Who knows? But still majority white, so or pale.
I mean, yeah, we know, Mac. It's how they identify. Yeah, I got you, bud. That's the look. I lost all respect for them. They're weak. After what Elon Musk said to Disney and their ilk on
Elon Musk?
Yeah. Elon Musk told them to screw off. They thought they were going to blackmail him. You know what? Goodman Games, irrelevant of the wokeness, they're weak. They're weak-willed. Their knees are clearly weak because they bowed immediately. And I'm not supporting them. No, I'm never buying another Goodman Games product. Nope.
Right. Well, I don't really know anybody here in this thing, and there's lots of fake names here, like Dak J Ultimac. That's not a real name.
I heard half these. Yeah, L's got it. I heard this too.
Jorf Dan, not a real name.
Oh no, I know that dude. It's Jordan. The PH is silent, Joe.
Okay, he's dumb.
Yes. They replaced RPG creators with employees at Goodman Games. Backer kit. That's who these people are.
Backer kit managers?
Well, they're just employees. I mean, there might be one or two creators on here, maybe. But the thing is, if I were going to pay for this, which I wasn't going to pay for, but there's a free part of it, I wouldn't be going, and neither would anyone else on the planet going to see these guys. Unless one of these guys is actually a designer, why would you go to an indie RPG creation summit, okay, to see non-creators?
Yeah. These people we know. So I didn't know. I've heard many of these names, so I'm familiar. So I would say, okay. Still, I don't care because, they don't represent. These guys don't make anything I want. So
the thing is, like I actually thought Joseph Goodman was a pretty good dude. I can't read some of those names. Can you make him a little bigger?
So,
I
let's
think
see.
I know
Let's
2 or
see if
3.
that-
Bob the World Builder, I could care less. He's a YouTube guy. Is that the best you can do? Doesn't make it very
Yeah,
big.
it doesn't want to get big. So, see, it's making the part on the pane on the right big, but not the left. Well, they're on the left, so they don't get big.
Yeah, I think to me, like I know the Harley Stroh is a pretty good writer for.
Is that making it better?
No, it's just kind of flipping it around. But Harley Stroh was one of their big writers for their adventures. He's not bad. Elle says Mike Shea is. Oh, Rob Schwab. Yeah, okay. So there's a handful. He says right click and open the image in a new tab is what David says. But
Okay.
I agree with you, Flady. I'd rather meet the people that pack the boxes at Palladium or Ripaverse. Yeah, I can tell you, I've met the ones at Palladium, and they're cool cats. So, but
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter if I like him or not. This is the ultimate in weakness.
Well, like them or not, at least these folks are creators of games that people buy, games and game supplements. They are known in the industry. The other
Right.
folks are just who you're not going to draw anybody except folks that are just going to applaud you and not actually probably buy anything.
Yeah, and I just don't. What's up, Mr. Boivin? He's in the house. So is Dice Tales. Good to see them and David Gwill. I'm disappointed is what it is. I didn't think a company could disappoint me, but Goodman Games has really fully disappointed me now.
Okay, so I get what you're saying, kind of, but so I was watching the video.
I should rephrase what I said.
And he was introducing this, and I looked at I looked at the picture. I said, "Oh, they're all white. They're going to catch all kinds of crap for that, and then they're going to buckle." I was not surprised in the slightest.
I should rephrase what I said. I'm not surprised the company did it, and I guess I shouldn't because Goodman did do that little pronoun change in their 10th printing of their book. But I thought, they're not going to go over. I mean, they're not that weak. I mean, isn't Joseph Goodman a retired lawyer? I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Who cares? I don't really care about Goodman Games anymore. I'm not going to buy their stuff.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I like DCC a little bit. I got all the stuff I'll ever need. I'll play the stuff that it's not that I won't play it, but like I've got the I've kickstarted several of their Kickstarters. I got Dark Tower coming in, and I think that's it. I feel bad because I know I'm going to want, if they do another Adventures Reincarnated, I love those hardbacks because you get the 5e version, which I don't care about, but you get the original version, and it's all together in one nice book. You've seen the one. I have all of them, and they talked about Against the Giants, but I'm not doing it. I'm just not. My patience for this kind of crap is about gone. It's gone. So
right.
So I'm not saying I won't play DCC, but I'll just play the crap that I have.
Yeah.
I'm not giving them any more money.
Guys. No. And really what they're doing is they're nostalgia baiting us.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm sort of okay with that. I didn't mind it. The stuff that I wanted to have that was kind of a new repackaged, like the Temple of Elemental Evil was a 2-book deal. Yeah, it's cheesy, but I was glad to have it again and get to read it again. And we played a little bit of it. Yeah, you're right, David. That's where I'm heading, dude. He said stop supporting them, and this is just a nail in the coffin. I don't even know. I guess what's coming up next is probably going to be Pinnacle. I don't feel like they've bent the knee, though. You could say that him taking out the slavery part of and the Confederate States from Deadlands was a little wussy. I did like Shane Hensley's justification for it. Not that I agree with it, but I thought he was being his own dude. He wasn't being told what to do.
Well, at least he made it sound that way.
That's what I'm saying. And that's all that I know. That's even when we read their books, that's all we know. We know what they write, right? That's it. But I think
Did the Confederate States exist at all?
Yes, but it was like slavery is not a thing anymore. It's just not in the new Deadlands. And you can play, I mean, any person, any color, and any sex. I mean, even females can be sheriffs. I'm like, okay, I guess. Um, um, they removed history from the Confederate States of America, and I think, and Josh might be able to help me out. Is there even a Confederate States of America anymore? Martinson. Um, no, I don't think so. He said, L says, Randy Pinnacle is teamed with Palladium. Do you think TMNT, Teenage Mutants Ninja Turtles, will bend the knee because of Paramount? I don't think so. I don't think Pinnacle's got some wokeness in them, but the products I've gotten, I don't get that feel from it too much. But Martinson's checking for me. Yeah, me too, Larry Elliott. He's waiting for the Mud Sword Kickstarter. I've heard that's going to be boss. The high end's going to be like $12, and you'll get like a huge PDF and a book for like $12. Right, Joe? No, we'll see. But I just
$12.
I think
I would love to be able to sell a hard back for 15 like back in the day.
Wouldn't that be awesome, dude?
I don't know if it's even possible. It'd have to be like 10 pages.
We will probably go the route of Blackwall Games. We're going to do our best to print as much of that stuff. We're so far ahead of ourselves, guys.
Yeah.
Mud Sword's just an idea in the back of our heads, written down on a hard drive somewhere. But we hope it'll happen. I just don't. I mean, it's going to happen. Pinnacle's eventually going to do it. I mean, they're going to disappoint me, but it's fine. I'm not buying another edition of Savage Worlds anyway, so it doesn't matter if they update it. So I mean, it's probably. I know Kyle over at Dying Breed. I don't know if you guys follow Nerd Cognito or, as I said, Speakeasy, but Kyle made a comment. He thinks they're coming for. Oh yeah, L says for $12 you get a pencil stamped with Mud Sword on it. Yeah, I mean that's about what it's worth, right?
Oh yeah. Release the game one page at a time as a subscription.
Dude,
yeah.
Only
Thank you, Arn Man. That's hilarious.
50 cents a page. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
The first page will be character creation. That's it.
It just says those
just
two
the word
words.
Character creation. Yeah. No. But anyway, Dying Breed said he thinks, and I'm not saying Kyle's always right, but he thinks that it's all coming for the OSR now. He thinks they think that's where they're shooting for. I mean, Goodman Games is kind of a sidestep in that direction.
What do you mean coming for, though?
The mob, if you will.
Well, they've been hollering at various old schoolers for the longest.
Martinson says, no more CSA, no Confederate States of America. The South lost the war. That's right.
Yeah. I'm not saying that. I already knew that. But when Randy said they took out the Confederate States, I'm just wondering if those states exist.
They do.
Does Alabama exist in the game?
They do, but it's they're now all.
So as an alternate history game, slavery, the war went the other way, right? Which, historically speaking, the folks that wrote that game don't know history because the North didn't like black people either.
Not really.
And they were fine with slavery over in, but the reason they didn't want it in the West was because folks didn't want black people over there competing for jobs. Yeah. Not because they didn't like slavery.
In the Deadlands universe, Martinson's talking about something else, but in the Deadlands universe, he's right. The war just stopped in the original Deadlands, and there was the Confederate States of America and the United States of America. They were two separate countries living on the same landmass, and that was more interesting and dynamic, and a lot of issues could come up. I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. I just I'm not necessarily 100% with Kyle that I think, they're all coming after us, but I do think it seems logical that they'll just keep getting all the ones that they can. Point blank, my good friend, he says he has a bad feeling about Pelgrane Press. You can count on that one. That's happening because those folks are pretty, as designers, they're pretty woke.
Yeah. It's not surprising at all.
And 13th Age, second edition, They're already ditching race and going with kin. So I'm telling you, it's happening.
The word race is so problematic.
Absolutely. Even if it's not the best choice, species might be better, but yeah.
Sure, but then elves and humans can't make half elves.
I agree. So I agree. But I mean, my point is, it just seems like, yeah, there's nothing we can do, I guess. Just put our money at the right places.
Right. So, okay, I understand what they're saying about coming for the OSR, but what are they going to do with it when they have it? They can't. They can't stop people from playing games at their table.
Correct. And Joe, that's fine. I don't disagree with you. But when you look on the bigger picture, it could be, and for you, it doesn't matter because I think Joe he's a half a step away from being done buying things.
For the most part,
you are.
It's going to have to be something special.
Yeah, you have to be just blown away to even consider it. Yeah. I am inching in that direction, but I am currently miles away from that. Well, yeah, probably still miles. I used to be like on a different planet because I was Mr. Buy Everything. What I think is it's going to be sad to see. It's going to be, Don Paleo makes a comment. Yes, I saw that yesterday, dude. Don Paleo says they use ancestry instead of race in the latest Swords and Wizardry. It absolutely is trickling down. Yeah. What's going to happen though, Joe? Because we're gonna keep doing this till eventually there's gonna be nothing for us to buy. And part of me is sad for that.
I don't agree. There's always going to be something we can buy.
Okay, sure.
It may not be big studios. It may not be companies even as big as or the size of Palladium, which is a smaller player in
used to be like top 3. That's what's just funny.
Right. So with Wizards and Paizo, I'm already off of their list.
I have not yet. I mean, you're making right. Look, I'm not. Okay, you're reading too much into it. I'm saying potentially, yes. Legion says you just spent $75 on books. Not yet, but I'm getting ready to because somebody gave me a sweet gift certificate. Yeah. Somebody like Legion. I've got that on the Palladium site. Randy's got to look at all his Palladium books, make sure I don't order the wrong ones and get me a sweet Christmas package. But I'm
not saying you're saying anything wrong. I'm just saying the concept of they're coming for us is a bit of an overreaction, in my opinion.
I think so, but I think they're going to try to get their tendrils and everything, and some people are going to resist. I mean, I think Joe is actually on the right trail. David Will says, "I've been there for 10 years. I already have too much stuff to read, watch, play as is." Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, Cal says, "Joe, you're on other lists." Yeah, I'm probably on some no-fly list or whatever. I'm on Santa's bad kid list.
Yeah, but I mean, and it's neither here nor there. I mean, but to me, it's like there's something. I guess what it is. There's a part of me that longs for the day where I would go to the game store and just whatever was new, I'd be willing to look at.
Sure.
If I was like, this looks kind of cool, I'm buying it. I didn't have to worry about whether, oh man, this is a pile of woke garbage. And people can say, well, don't. Some people don't. I'm just going to buy it anyway because it's the next D&D thing. You do. And you can pretend like you ignore it, but it makes me too angry. I can't.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, and a lot of the same thing with me and going out to the movies. I kind of like, do I really want to? Because I'm going to see the message in the movie.
What's the last movie? What's the last movie you saw, Joe, at the theater?
At the theater, it's been a long time.
No, you just don't go.
But we watch movies on TV on TV, so we haven't gone to the theater in a while. But we watch it on Amazon and wherever we can watch online movies on our TV. Mm-hmm. And if you are just a little picky, you can avoid most of the nonsense.
Yeah, you can.
If not all of it.
I was listening to. Do you know the YouTuber Disparu? Do you know him?
I think I've heard of him.
He does a lot of he's kind of along the line of not quite the critical drinker, but some of those guys like Nerdrotic and stuff where they kind of blast the woke people. He said that, I just blanked. Old man-itis. We were talking about what? What did you just say? What were we talking about?
Amazon?
Oh yeah. So he said he watches Korean shows because
Okay.
they use traditional values, and
Right.
I mean, yeah, you can look for stuff and find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Halcyon comes in. Welcome, sir. The problem is you do have a large woke group who's in the hobby. True.
Yeah. Yeah.
TTRPGs and board games is the area that wokeness hasn't hit their bottom line. I think it is hitting them though. I know what you're saying. Halcyon made a big argument, and a pretty good argument that was true on the speakeasy this week. But I do think they're feeling it. I don't think it's not. Even with the success of Magic, they've lost players, and they can ignore that for a while, but it'll come around and get them. You found it, Joe. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Dice Tale says, has it occurred to anybody that the fact that we're having this discussion is appalling in the United States of America? No. I mean, in a way, it's appalling that we're having this discussion, but I don't think that in the United States of America has much meaning as far as this conversation goes, because we're like a generation behind the UK, Europe as far as this sort of attitude.
Decay. Social decay.
Yeah, social decay. We're we're a generation behind.
But UK is fighting it a little harder, at least in the trans area.
Right. So it could be just a cycle, right? Like I've said in the past, a lot of these folks who aren't going to have kids.
Yeah.
So in a generation or two, a lot of them are just going to be gone. So it's going to take some time to cycle through this. And we can pine for the old days, but they're gone.
Yeah, I think David Gwill's right. I think you have to play. If you want to support, David didn't say this part.
The folks that have good stuff that have values that you can at least, or that aren't obvious degenerates.
Well, Boivin said, "Don't buy products from people that hate you," which is clear, or who support things that's degeneracy. We should do OSR protests by sitting in the road. Nah.
I mean, I don't care that folks like that a game like Thirsty Sword Lesbians exists.
No.
The problem is the folks that take this activist point of view and try to force all the game companies, in their mind at least, to conform to their view of what a game should be.
Well, it's a Marxist tactic, because they want to change the culture. That's where you get the most bang for your buck. And so they're just going, they hit comic books already. They're going after board games and TTRPGs. Point blank, I think, is a good comment. If it can hit Disney, then he means none of them are safe. Eventually the money runs out. Yeah. And that's what I would say to Halcyon.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is going to cycle. It may not cycle out in our lifetime though.
Maybe not.
We'll see.
I think the best bet is to add to what Gwill and Boivin say. We need to play the games we like, and that the people that don't hate us, and make them. Make those games. Yeah.
I agree. All right. Let's talk about gaming.
Next topic. Oh, that's one of our topics. We're doing the chaos. The chaos of topics.
All right, so we talked about
Goodman.
The first two are Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next one is mechanics.
Do you want me to expand upon that, or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the idea is, are there advantages to having unique mechanics that don't exist already?
Right.
All right. So, right. Go ahead.
So my thought was as I was looking at the different dice pool system, D20 target number, roll under, roll a set of dice and keep. That's a dice pool. I already said that. Mm-hmm. Is it how important? And this is good to hear their thoughts and yours too, since I tend to be more on one side of the screen than the other, and I'm trying to design a game. Is it better for it to be familiar? Or are most gamers looking for a game and I mean basically your core mechanic is something new? Like Dread.
Some people
Dread had the Jenga tower.
Yeah.
Right. A real unique sort of mechanic.
That works for
Dread.
Which
is fine.
Dread is more Dread is a party game.
Yeah, with the role play elements.
Yeah, but it's more a party game. You don't have a character sheet.
You do answer a series of questions about your character, so you have some
Yeah.
information, but you don't have numbers. You
Yeah.
don't roll dice. David Will says he doesn't care if the core mechanic is new. He's looking more for just a good game, I take it.
Yeah.
Do other players
something
feel that way? So if
Yeah.
Mud Sword is roll a d20 and attack a target number, that's good enough? That doesn't bother anybody?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, should what I mean by that is, should we strive to make a core mechanic that's quote unquote unique, or at least a new spin on an old one?
I would say new spin on an old one, so because good luck finding a mechanic that doesn't exist already with dice, because this is our game is about dice, right?
Dude,
Rolling
you can Wikipedia dice mechanics and you'll see them all.
There's a ton of mechanics out there already.
Mm-hmm.
The dice only have so many sides. There's only so many you can roll at one time that makes sense, and only so many ways you can generate a number with dice and call it good one way or the other, whether it's a target number, it's roll high, roll low. I have a bunch of, like with D6s or D10s or whatever, roll the highest number for successes, right? So 6 on a D6 is a success. You roll a bunch of them, X number of successes, and you're good. So there's lots of different ways to do it. I would say it's probably in our best interest, if we're going to make something, to pick something that we know and roll with that and give a different spin on it, perhaps.
Right.
But that would be my
thought. I mean, and David Will adds a new level to this. He says D20 is fine, new spin is fine, because if your game is just D&D with a new name, why bother? That is, at this point, Legion of Myth is well known for saying this. He's got enough OSR clones,
right? So
he's got enough AD&D games,
right? But we can still have a D20, right? And people might think, oh, that's just D20, a little different. That's just D&D, just a little different. There's there's other games that use a D20. Palladium uses a D20 to hit. They don't use the whole D20. They only use the first 5 numbers, but the rest of them don't matter.
That's not really true. There's some certain targets that you can get like 12 or higher and stuff, but
yeah, depending on stuff. But I was just making a joke. But you can have the dice mechanic that another game uses, and then just use it differently, and it's a different game.
Yeah, Dicedale says new and creative is good if it brings a better mechanic. New for news sake is not useful. Agree.
Yeah, just don't make it. I don't want us to grind our gears trying to think of a new mechanic.
It feels like
that itself could take a long time.
I think we have better ideas in our wheelhouse. What I mean is, I think our game can offer things more interesting than just, oh, look, it's no longer a D20. We're going to roll a 3D8 to kind of riff off Max's comment. He doesn't think the D8s get enough love. We're going to roll 3D8 and subtract half your intelligence whenever you cast a spell.
Right.
Whatever you're going to pick up, right?
So if the only thing we have in our game that is similar to, I'm going to make this comment and then I might have to go take care of my dogs.
Sure. I got him. I'll start saying it.
You know what? I'm going to make, no, I will end this show. I'm going to make a thumbnail that I'll put in front of my face here that says killing my dogs. Anyway,
you need to do that.
So as long as we make something interesting around whatever mechanic our resolution mechanic is, or mechanics, there may be more than one resolution mechanic, depending on what we're doing. The other stuff, we have a lot of ideas that on other things. It can be completely different from D&D except the D20.
Right.
So I will go take care of my dogs.
Okay, I'm going to answer some questions while you're gone, or sing a song. Hi, Joe's gone. Would you like to be serenaded? No, I'm just kidding. Let's see here. Let's start with I'm talking, not singing. I would never sing. David Will at Chicago. What will Mudsword do that existing games don't or not easily? Yeah, don't know yet. Good question. No answer. Iron Man, is there a difference between mechanics and procedure? AC versus DR or procedure? I would say AC and DR both are just mechanics. A procedure You're saying the procedure of roll this dice, add these numbers, subtract this, get this result, and interpret. Yeah, I think procedure's a different thing, but I understand how you could interpret it that way. Fair enough. Yeah, I see what you're getting at. Um, Gwil says specifically things you want or need. I know for sure I want spellcasting to be non-Vancian. I'm sorry, I'm just not down with it. I also know that when we play, I want combat to be smooth, and I want it to be fair, at least potentially. No, I want it to be fast around the table. And just a good initiative system might do that. And I want to have enough crunch that players are happy manipulating what they can manipulate. But I'm not killing myself having to know 1.5 million subsystems. Yeah. Yeah. Mac Thompson, yes. Mechanics versus procedure. I could Google it, but I'm not sure what our man's asking me. I think mechanics deal more with the part of the game that affects outcomes, whereas I guess when I think procedure, I think like, well, this could be that too. I guess I don't know. There's got to be a difference, right? I mean, I would think there's a difference. Our man says, roll to hit only or roll to hit, target rolls to defend. That is what I consider game. Okay, game procedures could be the same as mechanics. I would say they're the same. I can do this. For initiative, curious about your thoughts on the action point thing. I have read that, David. Here are my thoughts. I think it's very slick. I like how you designed it. David blogged about an action point system where you get, I think it was Point Blank and a few other people last week had mentioned about getting so many points to be able to do things. And what David did is he built an initiative system where each side rolls a d6, and that's the beginning counter spot. So if the skeletons roll a 4, I think it was the example, the party rolls a 5, the party goes first. But every action that you do, like charge or pull out a sword or attack, would be a number, like maybe 3 or 5. And so the fighter charges to attack the skeleton. He adds 5 to his 5, or the lowest goes first. Yeah. So 5 to his 5, he goes on action 10. Whereas the skeleton is, if he's just going to move and attack, he's going to add 5 to his 4. He's going to go on 9. So that skeleton would attack just before the fighter. But spells would have different actions, have different action point costs, and you never reroll initiative because you keep adding. So after the fighter goes on, the skeleton goes on a 9 and hits him. Fighter goes on a 10. Then the fighter says, "Hey, I'm going to try to grapple." Try to pull the sword out of the skeleton's hand, and the skeleton, being mindless, goes, "I'm going to attack again." So maybe the skeleton goes on a 5 again. So he would go from, what did I say? 4 plus 5 was 9 plus 5 again. He would go on 14, and the fighter, maybe grappling's tougher, so it's 7, and you would go 7 plus 10 is 17. So the skeleton would get attack again. I thought it was interesting. My first thought was, that's cool. You mentioned that it would require players to track their own initiative carefully, because it wouldn't be going around the table. It would be dependent on what you're doing, who would go next. It is pretty slick. I wouldn't. I think about my players. Some I wouldn't. I don't want to use the word trust, but they would need some hand holding. Probably make lots of little mistakes, maybe on purpose. I feel like that it sounds a little tougher to track, but Joe and I talked about it, and I think I'm convinced that if I gave it a shot and played it, it could work. It could. I think once everybody at the table got comfortable and knew the point cost and knew what their characters did, that could be good. I do think the analysis paralysis could get pretty funky with all those choices, though, especially if you're worrying about min-maxing the point cost and actions. That's cool. I hope you do play test it. That would be great. But I like the idea. Arnman says, so the mechanic is just a way to get the results of the established odds. Make it quick and simple, I say. Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, I prefer that too, dude. I mean, I don't want to waste all day long calculating 45 different things just to determine if you take 6 points of damage. Yes, I believe Joe is burying his dogs. So luckily, that high pitched sound that we get from Elizabeth should be over after tonight. Actually, I don't know, but he's gonna put something up to say that. So, but there's several things we're gonna talk about. Your couple of blogs, David so kindly commented on the last couple of episodes in regards to Magic System, initiative, and combat, and that was one that he had brought up. I think David, you clearly type very fast because your blogs, you get a lot of information in. And he's very good, thinks deeply about things. And I really appreciate that, David. And I like how you make the blogs and just tell us about them because that's kind of fun. Oh, you have one too, Mac. Mac says he's got a dog, not unlike Elizabeth with the high-pitched whininess. Yeah, that's annoying. My dog doesn't do it so much, but he's a pit, and he doesn't do that much whining. Bruce Lombardo, welcome, sir. Did we already talk smack about Goodman Games? Yes, we did. He's getting all his shit talk about them out today. He can talk about creators that make things so they can make money. Yeah, you're right. That's fair. Yeah, we did talk about him. It would be hilarious, point blank, if he were to come back and covered in dirt. But yeah, I really like I like mechanics and procedure are, man. This is definitely chaos. Randy's rambling, trying to think about multiple things at once. Yeah, if we want to split hairs, okay. I guess maybe I've always thought of procedures as being like a procedural dungeon where you roll on a table to generate everything. Well, you come to a door. Oh, roll the dice, blah, blah, clacka, clacka. Looks like it's going to be an iron-bound door. Roll. It's locked. Okay, roll. Trying to pick it. Oh, looks like it's poison lock. Yeah. Bruce is reviewing a crappy movie. Okay, cool. Can't wait to see that. I like when you and I forget that lady's name when you guys do your movie reviews. That's pretty cool. All right. So yeah, we did observe that. Maybe I'll talk about more about that with the initiative thing. Janet. Yes, thank you. Janet from another planet. Is that correct? Is that her little moniker? Janet from that sounds right. I could be wrong though. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, let's take a look at some more. I want to look more. I made some comments on David Gwill's he had a whole combat article where he threw in his initiative. I think I'm mostly good with his ideas. There was one point that I didn't quite agree with though. It was your analysis paralysis thing. I'll have to look. I'll give you the nod that maybe you solved it in Dungeons and Delvers, but I've yet to see a game that can actually solve that problem. I don't think that initiative would help. That system would not help analysis paralysis, in my opinion. But it doesn't mean it's not good. It doesn't mean I can't just boot those lazy players out of the table and get somebody else that can handle the truth. So who knows? Let's see. Another topic. I hate to move on without Joe. Maybe I shouldn't move on. No, I'll move on. He can catch up. Another question. Oh, hold on. I agree with Mac Thompson. If you're talking about Roger Moore, I like that dude. Yeah. Bruce doesn't. That's not his favorite Bond. I liked Roger Moore. He was kind of funny. Moonraker. What else? Something else. I thought he was pretty good. So let's move on with Mudsword. What about play testing, guys? I was thinking, do you think should you play test with the intention, especially if we're going to use, let's say, familiar mechanics, where we're going to tweak some things like the spell points? I know it needs some play test. Do you think when you make a game, someone should play test every mechanic, every aspect until it's perfectly balanced or at least perfectly where you like it? Or should they just play the game and see what happens as they play? Meaning, should I set up scenarios to play test certain mechanics, or should I just run an adventure and see how those mechanics interact? I guess that's a little more, if you do the latter, I guess you're probably you do the latter, you're going to have to wait and see if certain things come up. Like if I have a really intriguing mechanic, or one that I like for getting lost, and then I run just some adventures that I think of, maybe that mechanic may never show up. So I probably should play test. We should play test with purpose. I've kind of moved on to the play test or just play concept, Joe. And
say that again.
Yeah. So if you look at number 4 in the outline, it says for Mudsword, do we need to play test or just play? David says play test. He says play test specific scenarios and more organic games. Yeah. So like if I created a really cool mechanic for parties getting lost in the wilderness, should I just make sure that the scenarios, like should I plan scenarios specifically where you can get lost so I can see how it works? Probably. But
you don't need to have the whole evening be about that.
No.
But right. Unless
make sure it's a part of the game.
Make sure part it's of the session.
Part of the session. Right.
Unless what you could do is have the characters like we're drugged, bagged, and thrown in this forest, and you're lost. So we're going to test the mechanics on how you get unlost.
So you could actually force that on them, and that we got to start out. Your characters got lost in this woods. Mm-hmm. You're going to try to find your way out. If that's the big part of the mechanic.
So most of the time, in most games, weather is almost not a concern, if not a concern at all, right? Mm-hmm. But all you have to do is say, "Hey, there's a hurricane," and when you finally find a cave, and when you come out, all of the landmarks you've been using to navigate, they're all kind of destroyed or mixed up, and you don't know where you're at anymore. Mm-hmm. So now get unlost.
Yeah,
you can do that with weather. You can just do that with magic or whatever. But if you also want to test the getting lost mechanic, right? Mm-hmm. So if they're out in the wilderness, should we have a mechanic that simulates the possibility of you getting lost from getting from A to B? Then that's got to be part of that. Might want that part of it as well.
I think Artman kind of echoes that in this sentiment. He says part of playtest should be finding out what rules need interpretation. The next step is to clarify so the rule may not be needed, well, whether it's needed or not. Yeah, sure. Right. And Bruce Lombardo says he has found for his game. What happened? There it is. He has found for his game. I'm finding running a campaign for playtesting is fine. It allows you to long form test every aspect of the game. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, you just throw in the rules that you want in a particular. You just want to highlight the playtest part in any particular scenario. You can have it just be a regular game, a regular campaign.
Yeah.
And then you don't even have to announce it to the players that we're playtesting something tonight. You can just have something happen and we're playing, and then, hey, what did you think about that mechanic?
Yeah, true. Dice Tales suggests a possible more detailed, more planned approach. You need multiple playtest types. One would be playing out micro events like a pre-gen encounter, then having a homebrew adventure if possible, longer-term playtest to test character development. I'm pretty sure I see that. I don't imagine I'll manage. I mean, I do have enough players where I could do stuff like that. I'm not sure I'll have time. Probably going to do Bruce's approach and David's approach. David Will says when they play tested Dungeons and Delvers, they went from levels 1 to 17, adjusting, adding, removing rules as they went. Yeah, multiple groups would be cool, but I don't know. Maybe I need to get comfortable on the internet, and then I could really test things with a lot of folks there.
And so I guess if you're going to do, so what if our game? Okay, I know I like high level, but what if our game goes to level 100?
Right.
Because you've talked about having an open-ended system.
Yep.
So let's say we do 100 because that's as open. That's practically open-ended for anybody else on the planet, considering OSR players like to stop playing at second level. So right, and so if it went that high,
you're poking a little, aren't you? You're poking them. Poking them OSR.
It's guys. A little poke.
It's a little poke. A friendly poke.
Friendly, very friendly.
Yeah.
Third, Mac. See. I'm not wrong.
Third level. Yeah, that's high level.
Some people just like their characters to remain incompetent. So don't know why. Anyway, So if you went to a level 100 in your system, or just like what Dave said here, David Gwill, level 17, you would have to fast track experience.
Yeah, probably.
In order to make it work.
Right, because like we can't keep playing levels 1 to 5 over and over.
Right. So if you fast tracked the experience so that you can get from 1 to 17 in a reasonable amount of time, that's also counterproductive in a way. Because do the people play testing understand the rules
well enough to be advanced that fast
and to give good feedback? So if David is still on,
he's commenting.
How long did it take you to get to 1 to 17? And now if you don't have a huge rule set, it may not matter. And if just about all the rules are there at level 1 and you don't add any rule sets or not rule sets, edge cases and other complications into the rules over time, then maybe just iterating it over 17 levels or 20 levels or 100 levels may not matter.
Mac Thompson does wish to clarify. He says they start at level -1.
Right.
Because therefore, 3rd level is like 5th level then. -1 level, 0 level, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. That's high level play, dude. Way to go, Mac.
So because 1st level is not incompetent enough. We want even more incompetent characters.
David Gwill says it lasted a few years and they did speed leveling.
Right. You have to. Fetus Wars for the win.
That may have to be a supplement for Mudsword. Fetus Wars.
Fetus Wars. Right. So that's hilarious.
Doug and Bradley in the house. What's up?
Someone needs to make that.
I agree with Dice Tales. I do like exploding dice.
Makes your game swingy.
It does, and I don't mind that.
Yeah, it makes it swingy because you never know when that's going to explode. So most of the time it's going to be blah, blah, blah. And then they explode and you get killed in one shot or you one-shot the dragon or whatever. And then the DM's going to say, I didn't want my dragon to die. I feel bad.
Now, Blackwall pops in, and I'm gonna get a little bit cantankerous with this comment because I know this dude, and he's the master of play testing.
Yeah.
He says, popping in for a moment, you also lose the testing of mid-level monsters and mechanics with speed leveling. Really, you need scores of players and quite a few game masters. Stop bragging, DM Blackwall. Stop your bragging, dude. I'm going to become one of his playtester dungeon masters because I'm going to run that dang game like a crazy person.
So when I say they like to, some people like running incompetent characters, I am correct. There are some people that do. They like running characters that are not.
I don't necessarily like it. But years ago when I would play like once every 3 years, 5 years, I preferred to play a bozo that was no good at the party. Now when I play, since I tend to play a little bit more than that, like maybe like 2 or 3 times a year as a player, I like to play characters that can do something, but I really don't mind if they have a massive flaw. I don't mind it.
Right. So yeah, I think people like playing the underdog, perhaps.
That's kind of it.
But at some point, you get out of being the underdog, or you on some level.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called Dungeons and Dragons, not Dungeons and
you might kill an orc.
Wet paper bags.
Dungeons and you might kill an orc one day.
Maybe. If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
He has to slip on a banana peel and fall on your sword for that to happen.
So yeah, I think I'm agreeing more. I don't see. I'm not saying I won't. We'll probably get a fair amount of play testing because once we get a real manuscript that I can run over and over, dude, I've got my Cabin Con dudes. If I ever get comfortable online, I may have some of these guys running on Discord and Gilded. I mean, yeah.
Right. So Green Apple says Dungeons and Rats with the very small rats, because in regular D&D and older versions, you could have 1 hit point and a cat could come up to you and kill you.
Dude, a cat was a regular kitty cat was a danger in first edition to a first level wizard. Absolutely.
Right. So 4 to 8 sessions isn't bad. So David Will says his speed leveling was leveling up every 4 to 8 sessions. That's not bad.
What do you? Different topic, sort of, but here we go. Lady, I've been thinking about this. What about a non-level system? I really enjoy a build and buy system, unlike the tier or dot systems. How about a price point percentage system? Yeah, I mean that could work. The build and buy makes me wonder because Joe and I both have been talking a lot, and so David Gwill and some of his comments about a system we mentioned last week. Like I'm a cleric, but I want to be able to find traps, or I'm a wizard, but I want to be able to sneak and be kind of good at it. I'm almost wondering if a level and class system may not be what we really want. We may end up not wanting. Who knows?
It depends. You can do level without class. So
yes,
you gain a level, you get points, and you spend them on things.
Yeah.
So the thing about levels and classes and whatnot, it does make it a little bit easier to figure out what how you want to challenge the characters.
Yeah.
If they just have points, it may not be. It depends. Point by. I guess you could say that if you have this many points or that many points or this other set of points, sure, but that's the same thing as leveling. So this many points represents a level of difficult, a level of advancement. So, but it's loose instead of all being contained within a class.
Yeah, I guess also when you think about non-level, just point by and buy your skills whenever you want to, whenever you get enough experience points or things to do it. I know it's not a system that's necessarily more likely to cause characters that can be a little broken, but I feel as a DM when I first think about it, I'm like, I feel like I'm losing some control there when I let players pick just whatever they want. But there's some plenty of good systems that have done that, where it still encourages you. Like David Will said, he thinks class and level makes it easier to create an adherence to an archetype. I agree, and I'm kind of fond of an archetype.
And you can just have an archetype. You can just have a framework,
right?
And say,
like Savage Worlds. Here's how you build. Here's how you build a wizard. Here's an example of a wizard.
Yeah, you select an archetype. You have a very few things that encompasses, and then the rest of what you select on advancement or character creation involves whatever you want as a player. So I'm going to cast spells. Your archetype is caster, maybe just make it real basic, and then you get a skill that tells you what you know about magic, and you get a couple of spells or powers or whatever it is. You might have a requirement on a stat, and then there's your archetype, and that's all that encompasses. And whenever you level up, you can get some points, and you can improve those things and expand upon that, or you can or buy other things like sword proficiency, or depending on genre, guns or whatever.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's true or not. I wonder with playtesting if it would be easier to playtest archetypes that are most likely to show up in a fantasy game rather than letting players just pick whatever they want. And I get some guy who's mostly a fighter, but he dabbles in magic and he dabbles in, picking locks and has studied under a like maybe a Zen master. And he's also learned how to do still mind, and get bonus. I mean, I don't know. It'd be interesting. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think that there's a problem with it.
No, I don't either. I've not played a lot of games where you can buy your abilities wholesale.
Right. There's more. That's more
whatever you want.
It's more of a superhero game thing, where superhero games are often free form, where you just pick your stuff. Now they have Speed Demon would be a power,
a flash.
And you might have to spend the majority of your points to get the full Monty on that, and then you can get some other stuff that isn't related to being a speed demon, or you could buy or they call them package deals, or did.
Yes.
In Champions, you get a package deal. It puts all your stuff together. But yeah, it's more a superhero trope in superhero role-playing games to have an open-ended buy system like that.
Yeah. Which I never understood. It seems to me like that defeats the purpose. I mean, sort of, because then you get weird combos. Like I'm sort of the Flash, but I also shoot webs out of my hands. I guess at least lets your heroes be unique if that's what you
Right.
care about.
Right.
I'm Spider Flash, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
It depends on what you want, how you want heroes or adventurers to be presented. And you can, instead of trying to genericize the rules first,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something I've said a few times, you figure out what your setting is like. So
Yes.
does your setting have sword wielding wizards? Does your setting have fighters that can sneak? Or
And
does the setting itself indicate that that the roles that the characters play are narrow or loose or somewhere in between?
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I'm kind of with David here. I think he says I like the idea of organic character development, like a fighter that learns some thief skills because he needs to know that stuff. Yeah, because the campaign is about sneaking around in the Temple of Elemental Evil, and no one wants to get caught there at second level. So you better
No.
get sneaky and get sneaky
Right.
quick. Yeah, I think there's something cool about that. Iron Man coming in, reminding us he said it first.
Music alike.
Setting first, right on, dude. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm focusing hard. Joe and I don't have enough to tell anybody, but we got a kind of a dual world idea we're working on, and I got to keep working on mine. I think I jumped too quickly into the mechanics, and I think I need to just really get my settings completely figured out.
Right, and I think it's fine to think of the mechanics alongside.
Yeah,
but a lot of these questions are going to be answered in some kind of way with how the setting is. If it's just some generic fantasy world, I don't think we should do. If we're going to just do a generic fantasy world, we should stop.
I agree.
Because there's already tons of that out there. However, if we do our dual world with some of the ideas we've talked about offline, where it's not just generic fantasy, it's very specific to our ideas, then we can retool some rules that we know about that a lot of games share and just do slightly differently. And we can have something some people might like.
Yeah, true. Our man asked a good question, which, I didn't mean to question mark that, David. It was meant to say, just see you later. Our man says, what are you trying to fix that is wrong with your favorite game? I don't think it's
wrong isn't the right word.
Yeah. Just not satisfied.
Yeah.
I enjoy playing any D&D game. Let me clarify that. Most D&D versions, clones, whatever, they're fine. Even 3rd edition, 5th edition. I don't hate 5th edition. It's not my favorite. 4th edition, I'd be like, someone else run it. I would probably play 4th edition, but it doesn't sound very exciting. I do have core books, I think, somewhere. Probably get bored quick. I like Savage Worlds. I like Horde Wars. That's about it. I mean, I just haven't played. That leads to another part 2 I'm going to get to here soon. But those are kind of the games I play, and I like them. But I just have this. I don't have a vision. I have a feeling. Every time I see a game, I'm like, I want to do this differently. Especially as I said earlier, spell casting is a big thing for me, and initiative's a big. Those are probably my 2 big bugaboos. I want spell casting and initiative. I want it to be, and I'm not sure I fully know yet. I just know I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the spell system, and I haven't seen the initiative system that to me goes, wow, that's awesome. The closest one is probably for a crunchier version. We talked about it while you were gone, Joe. We talked about David's system he proposed with action points. That's fascinating. And Horde Wars, which is simple. And I love the around the table thing. But that's all I've got, Iron Man, as far as like what I really want. Other things could be more flexible.
Right. So an idea that's bugged me for a long time with D&D is when a fighter when their sword is gone, when a fighter's weapon has been destroyed or dropped or whatever,
Knocked over the mountain.
they become useless.
Really?
Completely useless. They can't do any damage. Especially in the early version of the game, what could a fighter do if they don't have?
If he drops his sword, he can grab a weapon at all. You're not saying you're not saying he doesn't have his cool specialized sword, because like he can grab a mace and he can still, if he's really strong, he can beat the crap out of it.
Right.
You're saying he has no weapon. You want the fighter to be, even though he's considered in old school D&D a basic.
And in third edition, if he dropped his sword that he's super specialized in, it's even worse. He goes from being able to do 50 million points of damage
to back to D8 plus 6.
Or D2.
Yeah, depending on what he's doing.
If he's using his fist, which, against monsters, I understand that fisticuffs isn't very effective. But against another human, it's just dumb that a fighter, like if you get into a bar brawl, everybody's practically even.
Yeah. Short of strength, D2 plus strength.
Right. And so that's silly to me.
Yeah, fighters should still kick the crap out of people.
Yeah.
They're trained combatants, yeah. Let's see. Bruce asked about, you haven't played Hackmaster 5e. My game is basically 2nd edition AD&D with casting times weapon speed with seconds. Yeah. Honestly, Bruce, I don't like how that one read. I didn't like how Hackmaster 5e read. It didn't really. Now, that doesn't mean I might not like it. If I can ever get myself to play in one of your games, you might convince me. Because which, by the way, I really need to. We need to play in a game together. And you invited me, and I've just been a loser and not done it yet. So, yeah.
So, and that's just one. There's a, anybody who listens to this show much knows I don't like fancy and casting. Randy, we've talked about that ad nauseum. So I think that I've always thought, well, not always. After a while, I started thinking that it was kind of stupid the way it works.
I can play D&D with fancy and casting. And now that we're messing with spell points, that has convinced me that I have to change the spells. I don't mean like wholesale everything, but I want to do some things to where the spells play a little different. I feel like
we can't have the D&D spells as the D&D spells.
I don't think so. Not for what.
Then it's just D&D.
Yeah. So we're going to rewrite the spells for sure. Yeah. The Gwilster's back. What about switching topics? Is that cool?
Yeah.
So, and I asked this.
Hold on.
Sure, go ahead. Do your thing. You can tell him to.
So, Mad Mardigan waited half the movie to get a sword. He sucked until then. You are great, LOL. Right.
You really are great.
Right. It was dumb then, because when you learn to fight, you learn to fight. Sword's just one way of fighting.
Yeah, but I thought Mad Mardigan he had some personality. He had some charisma bonuses.
It worked in the movie.
It was a movie, but you're right. Movies, when the movie fighters get to be more than just sword swingers. They do all sorts of things.
Right.
I asked this on the Speakeasy, and Ryan David and Kyle gave me some good answers, and I don't know why I want to ask it again, but I do. It's me combating this. My shelves, and maybe many of you guys out there, your shelves are full of games. And I mean, when I say games, for me, I mean TTRPGs.
Yeah.
That have yet to be played. I look at it and I think, and I think I know what Joe's going to tell me. I look at it and I go, I really need to clean this out. There's games that are.
You did that before and you regretted it.
To a point, only to a point. Mm-hmm. When I look on eBay and I see, or when I look on Facebook and Marketplace and I see how much those games are selling for, that's what I regret. I thought about that. If I had those, I would just be selling them for bigger money right now. If I had all my 1E and 2E and basic stuff, which, dudes, I had a boatload. Joe can verify. I had a bunch. And those box sets, I had a bunch of expansions for Birthright. I could have sold that for a bundle.
Yeah.
That's what I regret. Because when I start to feel like nostalgic, oh, I wish I had it. I'm like, no, you don't. You're not even playing 1E D&D. You're not playing 2E D&D. And you're probably not going to. That's the truth.
Right.
So my point is, when I look at that, how do we combat that? Patrick says, it still causes me trauma. He's talking about when I sold all my crap. He couldn't believe it. Yeah. Yeah. Larry Elliott confirms. Take a gun away from a Marine, still a trained fighter. Facts.
Mm-hmm.
So Joe, how much stuff do you have is your bookshelf in the room you're in? Mine's not.
Yeah.
How many do you ever look at is yours big, and yours is not that huge though, is it? How huge how many books could you even guess that you have?
Oh,
I have several hundred.
Oh, I don't have near that much. I might have 100.
Okay.
Maybe. Probably less.
Yeah.
But I still can kind of feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got lots of books. The thing is, most of the books I've already played in that system at least a little bit.
Since you've said yours is smaller, can you glance? And
no, it's a mess.
No, don't show
not
people.
The camera. Oh, okay.
Not the camera. Just look at it. And could you name me 5 games you haven't played?
5.
Because I could probably name you 50. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 100 on my shelf.
Maybe not that many. Index card RPG I haven't played yet.
Yep.
Let's see. I did pick up. Where's it at? I've never played Alternity.
Yeah.
Did
you not play that?
I've never played Wheel of Time.
Right.
But it's a D20 game, so pretty much. But
you
just not that particular.
Just not that setting, right?
Yeah. Have not played Hackmaster yet. So it's looking like maybe 5 or 6. I have one of Gary Gygax's Dangerous Journeys books.
Yeah, we never pulled that out. Yeah. I ran Alternity once at Captain Con. Remember, I played an Aliens using an Aliens adventure playing Welcome to Rolling Free. I think he was hanging out with Ryan David and them on the Speakeasy. Welcome.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there's probably a couple of versions of DCC that I haven't played.
Yeah. Don't you have?
I have played DCC, but it's not that particular.
Right. So flavor. Yeah.
So I'm on a different level from you. I'm on. How many books? How many extra books do you have? I'm on like 3 or 4. You're on 11.
Yeah, I'm on. Plus. I have way too, and I've sold a chunk of my collection. If I had my whole collection, I would have to be in totes because I would not have the space in my house, and my house is not small. I wouldn't have the space in my house to put them in there. I had a ridiculous amount, but now I would say it's manageable. But I still look at it and go, man, or even if it's like, I look at Pathfinder, I had a bunch of those. I played the crap out of that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, I'm just not really, I don't know.
Okay, so here's a couple of things I could say as far as how to combat it. Okay. 1, decide on a game, sell everything else. Okay, that's one idea.
Okay. Sell everything else, yeah.
Okay, but then you're going to have another kind of regret, I think, if you try to sell everything else.
Right.
You could store some of it, right? Especially the stuff that you probably don't think you're going to get much for, but you're probably also not going to play. You could store some of that in a different location.
Sure.
And then you can reduce what you have so it doesn't bother you too much when you're
I can store it in my crawl space. It's dry.
Okay. Your crawl space is dry. You might want to get that looked at. I don't know what that means. Anyway, you could try to retool how you're looking at it. So instead of worrying that you haven't played it, you look at it look at all that stuff as an idea mine. You have an idea mine. So whether you play the game or not, it can give you ideas.
I think Patrick takes that approach. I don't know if Demo's still listening, but I've heard him talking sometimes when he says, like, like last week he mentioned, I like to just read the modules, and he's always, I mean, he may not read every page in an RPG, but when he gets one, he gets into it. I get started, go, that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool. Patrick says facts. That's what he does. Yeah. And I guess if I'm going to try to dip my toe in the mud sword and we're going to become RPG designers, that sounds stupid, but if we did, then maybe that's how we have to do that. And maybe it's not wise to get rid of that stuff.
I'm never going to call myself a designer.
Me neither. I can't even.
I'm just going to say, hey, we made this book. We made this game.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Do you want it
or not?
We'll sell it to you. $12.
Yeah. $12. Whole game. But yeah, I don't want to be pretentious. I just made a game, and like I'm not a personality here on YouTube. We're just jaw jacking, and we got some folks that like to listen.
Correct. Max says, yep, that's what he tells his wife, guys. It's all resource material for his writing and his hobby.
Yeah. Use it for an idea mine.
Yeah, my wife, and she gets on me sometimes when I'm like, oh, I saw a new mini I want to get. And she's like, you haven't used, she said this, that's cracked me up. You've not used all the ones you have. And I'm like, right? I haven't, I don't play enough.
Yes. Okay. So the best one word response to that is, and
that means I need more.
Do you have a point? Right. So use it as an idea mine. That's probably your best bet at this point, because you're probably, especially for the newer stuff, most of that stuff, you're not going to get what you want out of it if you try to sell it.
Right. Oh, for sure. I think so. And even the 1E stuff, I mean, it would sell, but I might not get what I think I'm going to get just because I see someone sell a copy of the Player's Handbook first printing for $370 doesn't mean I'm going to get that.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes when you're looking up those prices, it's what people are asking for, not necessarily what they're being sold for. So you have to be careful when you're looking those up.
Not speaking of Big Geek Con 2, which will be happening, and we'll be talking about that soon. David says he might be shipping some of his excess books and stuff to us, and Larry Elliott suggested that we give them away at Big Geek Con. That is quite fun.
At Big Geek Con on Biggest Geekus, sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I like that. I liked how it went last year. So yeah, I'd like to have more things to give away. That'd be cool. And that's a good way to get rid of the ones that I don't really care for. I mean, I gave several books away myself last time, so that helped.
So I have a desire to do DIY kind of dioramas and stuff for gaming, set pieces, and whatnot. And there's a bunch of YouTubers that talk about how to make game boards and modular stuff, and I think it's really cool. And I would love to do all that stuff. And my room here has no room in it to do any of that. But that kind of segues into making the game. I like to make my own stuff. I would love to make my own stuff. Make
your own, dioramas and things, like actually get into terrain. Yeah, I've been thinking, I've not, I've got like a lot of Heroscape stuff. And I bought those, God, what were they called? Terra Clips.
Yeah, that company is defunct now, though.
Yeah, right. You can't get them. But I don't use it very much. And my wife actually asked me, and she made a good point, why don't you just use the stuff you have? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I should do. And I have plenty to build things. And it's cool to have I've done it a couple of times, and you guys were mostly like, that's pretty awesome. You like having that display on the table, and you can see where everything is. And I just, extra time. Oh, Mac Thompson has a question. Big Geek Con. Is Big Geek Con in a physical location with real people? Yes, sir. It will be in Saginaw, Michigan, like it was last year. Probably in the same place, sir. It'll be our second one. We had about 50 individual people through 2 days?
Yeah, we got up to,
Oh, no, 50. We counted. It was about 46 or 50 people. Some of the chatters here, Darth Theot came, Flady and his brother came.
Yep.
Arn Man made it. It was great. So we'll be letting you know very soon. Tickets will be on sale. And no, we are in Michigan. So where are you at, Mac? We are in the Michigan.
There is what's that Texas con that we've heard about? North Texas.
North Texas con. I want to go to that.
Yeah.
I want to go to that. I want to go Grand Rapids. What's their con called? It's the one where Horde Wars guys are over at the Grand Rapids con. So they go there a lot. So yeah. Oh, lady's working for Big Geek Con.
Good deal.
Mac grew up in Michigan. Dude, you got to come back and visit the fam. Sometime in September, probably mid to late September, we'll be running a little con at a sweet little hotel and gaming our butts off for 2 or 3 days. So yeah.
North Dakota, man. That's kind of a drive though, isn't it?
It's worth it, Mac. You'll have more fun.
I think it is, but
more fun than a barrel of monkeys, brother.
And it's an inexpensive con.
Because
it's a no frills con. You just get there and game. There's no booth babes. There's no vendor area. Nothing like that.
No.
Giveaways, door prizes and stuff.
I sold my module. Horde Wars sold theirs. Adventure.
Yeah, there's a couple people.
Patrick sold a few things. Yeah,
it's a table with a couple of things to buy, if you like.
Lady says next time he is taking a longer trip and booking a visit, do that. That's a good time, brother. We did that with some of our crew. It's very fun, and they are great people. Yeah, Mac. We'll let you know soon, bud. Joe will set up the, what's it called? Tabletop events. We need to get dates set soon. I got to talk to the management. I think we're going to stick the same hotel, but if we can grow some this year, it would be awesome. Yeah, we'd love to see you there, Mac. It'd be fun.
Well, the way we
bring your wife if she wants to hang out too. That's fine.
That's cool. The way we grow is doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the people that can make it for Friday and Saturday do. The ones that can go Saturday, Sunday do.
Yep. I think we're talking about maybe extending it, but maybe designing it a little differently, because there were comments there were good comments for improvement. We had an improvement,
right.
A little box for comments, and so we will. I agree. Mac has made the good point. We all should go. That means everyone on the internet should show up. And Joe will DM them all every session.
If we have everybody on the internet show up,
wow.
I will.
We'd have to. We'll be running. Every one of our friends will be running nonstop.
Everybody on the internet times $30. I won't have to work anymore.
Dude, no kidding. Right on.
We might even be able to buy the hotel. Maybe not. That's a lot of money.
We would. We
could rent maybe the whole thing.
We'd probably buy it. We'd buy a building, and it would be big GeekCon building.
Yeah.
It'd be 4 times a year, which would be awesome.
Well, there's some businesses here on Johnson Street that aren't being used.
Okay, you heard it here first, folks. If everybody on the internet comes, we're going to be running big GeekCon.
Like
maybe 10 times a year.
Yeah.
Let's just try to get a number 2 done. How about we shoot for that?
Number 2.
Let's try to get number 2 done.
Big GeekCon 2 coming up.
Hey,
and you know what? Even if we just do as well as we did last time, it'll be fine. It was fun.
That was fabulous. Flady said he was a great time. I truly look forward to going again. Yeah, and I hope your brother comes, man. He was a fun cat too.
The thing that happened the Friday where I thought that we had a couple of guys left because they were mad that games weren't going yet. That was actually not what happened. So absolutely nothing bad to say about it.
Dude, Larry Elliott, homie here, he knows how to do it. He already told his wife that they will plan their anniversary trip and possibly trip to see grandkids around Big Geek.
He has his priorities straight.
He has his priorities straight. You just saw those grandkids over the holidays. You need to see them again in September. Come on. Oh, that's sweet. Oh. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just thinking. So if we want to keep talking about Big Geek Con, I was wondering if we could. I don't know. We'll talk about it online. I don't think I can formulate the idea right now. We'll move on.
Okay. So, are you feeling better about yourselves?
Yes, I needed to pick me up. I need a little therapy.
Okay. The intervention was a success.
It was a success. Yeah. I'm not going to take my books out and throw them all away. So
good.
Yeah.
Max says nope. Are you saying nope to me?
He
The
would never.
idea of mine wasn't good enough therapy for you?
No,
It's essentially stop it.
no. He's
'Cause
saying no.
that's my therapy for everybody.
That's
Stop
generally,
it.
yeah. Max saying nope. There's no way he's missing Big Geek Con 2.
There you go. That's what he's saying.
Way to go, Mac. You're the man.
So the next item on our agenda is David Gwill has a series of blog posts that he put up in response to our episodes about game design, because he's a game designer. He's got some books out. He's a game author.
Yes, he is.
I don't know if he likes calling himself a game designer or not, but I will call him a game author until corrected.
Yes.
But we have some links to those articles, and we were thinking about perhaps having a whole episode in discussion about David Gwill and his ideas about our ideas.
And I would wish we could get David on the show. He's leaving, but if he's not gone yet, we need to get you on the show. Would you be interested? David, before you go, would you be interested in being on the show, or is Tuesday impossible?
He probably has to go, deal with a child at the moment.
Oh, he's gonna go paint Warhammer stuff. So, but I don't know if he would be able to make a. We'll have to contact. I'll email David, see if we can figure out a way. Maybe we'll even do a special pre-recorded session.
Sure.
David Gwill and his crazy ideas. Biggest geekest fixes David's crazy ideas. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
So considering the link that he goes to, and at least the combat,
I need to dig in deeper. I've read them all. I spent a lot of time on the Magic one, but I need to read more on the combat one. I talked about the initiative while you were gone a little bit, which I do like, but worry that it's too complex. But I would love to have more time. And even if David can't make it, we'll probably sneak that in as a small segment, our opinions on David's opinions.
Right. There's probably a little bit too much to get into all of them.
I think so.
Here we're going on 2 hours, not quite.
Let me add one more comment, and this is a sort of a topic.
Okay.
That you don't have on your outline, so it's a surprise. I think
Then no.
Then no. It's a chaos of topics. So part of
chaos
is not
chaos.
Range bands, range increments, feet, meters, squares, whatever. I feel like because I desire a smoother and quicker combat, I like the 13th age part. Engage, close, far away. But I know
sure that works.
But do you really? But I know you're more of a. I want to know how many feet this is and how far I can move. Is that where you are?
I think you can do both.
Okay.
So there's probably a way for you to figure out what your maximum movement is as a human for purposes of combat, or just movement in general. But if you're just talking about the battlefield, can I get there? How long is it going to take?
Yeah.
Having to measure everything out and can be tedious. So the near, far, adjacent thing is probably better. But there's probably a way to do it. We'd have to probably have a board out and move some little figures around, play with our army men, and see if we could probably amalgamate both.
Well, I'm wondering now that you say that, if we could give definitions to what close by is and what, actually say that's within 15 feet or whatever.
Right.
And then the DMs could do what they want.
Yeah.
Because I just like the simplicity of saying they're close by, which means you can get there and attack. We might have a third measurement, medium range versus
right,
far away.
because you can do adjacent, close, far. Okay, let's say you just do that. Those are still range increments.
Yes, they are.
So if it's adjacent, there's no modification. If it's close, maybe no modification. If it's a ranged attack, if it's far away, there's definitely should be some sort of ranged adjustment to your attack roll.
Far away penalty, yep.
Yeah. So that's still a range increment.
Yes.
It's just dealt with differently.
Yeah. Roland Free says he's not a fan. Combat movement sucks in his opinion. Just let them move unless they have something that would hinder them. Race? Their race could hinder them?
Sure,
Oh,
if they're
sure.
tiny, they're not going very
Yeah.
fast.
Or if they're giant, they
Unless it's 5th edition, and then your size doesn't matter.
right.
I identify with being big, so I'm going to just run as fast as someone that's got.
I'm a colossal red dragon, and I identify as being tiny, so I'm coming into your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're not far. I didn't know if we were. That was just a quick question. Are we far off on that? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
All right. Shall we try to head toward the end here? Well, I mean, not done. I mean, we got a segment or two we can do here. We got to give away some stuff
We
before
got some
everybody
giving
leaves.
away stuff to give away. Yeah.
Quick comment, if you don't mind. I just want to comment. Tell the folks to do the things.
Oh,
right.
It's probably a good idea. Our followers went up by 3.
Sweet. Follow us.
So subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell your friends and enemies that Biggest Geekus is on YouTube and in your ears in the podcast app of your choice.
Yes.
Leave comments, suggestions, hate mail, whatever. Just comments after the fact, live comments. Come and see us when we're on here live, which is every Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern in the evening. And yeah, do all that stuff. It helps the algorithm. And I will try to do artistic things with our thumbnails to help the algorithm. Don't know.
Check me out on X or Twitter, Shikaka67. Give me a little follow, even though I'm not doing very good at being on there. I do follow a few folks. I got to get better. So, note to my Cabin Con buddies, if you don't mind, Joe, May 2nd to the 5th, 2024 will be our Cabin Con. That's our own private little shindig we do up here in Michigan, just for our close buddies. We're going to be losing a cabin, so we're going to be getting a little cozier this year. The cabin will come back the following year. So Cabin Con is set May 2nd to the 5th, 2024. So mark your calendars as that's what you're doing. I don't want to hear any excuses.
No excuses.
Yeah, that's for our Cabin Con guys. That only applies to a few folks. So that's a very special private. It's a private gathering. All right, people. You want to give away some crap, Joe?
Let's give stuff away.
Yes.
All right. So how we're going to do this? Let's just do it like we did last time. If you would like a free PDF of Horde Wars, type in the number 1 in the live comments here. And then after a couple minutes, we'll say we're done. We'll roll a die and pick 3 people to give away. To be giveaway people. Okay. We're not going to give you away as a person.
Nope. Pavan is 1. How much time?
Okay, we got 2. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. We got 2 so far. If we only get 3, all 3 of you will get it.
Yes.
No rolling necessary.
Point blank. Bruce. All right,
so we got 3,
people.
4.
Yep. Larry. The number 1. Larry Elliott. Who else wants it? Roland Free gonna take good care of me. All right.
At Cabin Con?
I don't know. I think he's gonna take good care of me on X, baby. Show me the way.
Yeah.
So okay, you got to put the number 1 in there if you want a shot. So far, we are at 1, 2, 3, 4 people. So only 1 person would miss out today. We're going to give 3 today and 3 more next time for Horde Wars Basic, a D12 system that is pretty sweet. At some point in time, we might even have actual plays of that. So
sure.
Get ready, people. It's going to be cool.
I think what we'll end up doing tonight, if nobody else wants this, we'll just roll a D4, and the number I roll will not get it. All the other 3 will.
Okay.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Put a 1 in there if you want it. Got you, Martinson. That blows. He didn't get to go to Cabin Con. We're gonna have to.
Oh, that stinks.
We're gonna have to kidnap him. So that's not good.
All right, 5 seconds. Get my D4.
So the bad news is this. Boivin is not the bad news is not that Boivin is 1. He is 1. Bruce is 2. Point Blank is 3, and Larry Elliott is 4. Whatever Joe rolls this week, unfortunately, you don't get it. So you don't want to be this guy. So
here we go. D4, yep. D4. Number 4.
Larry Elliott. You got hosed, dude.
Yeah.
That's one of our people.
Larry Elliott is a loser.
So Point Blank, Mr. Boivin, and Bruce.
Okay.
Please contact Joe somehow.
Yeah. Go over to Discord. I believe all of you are Discord members, and put in your direct message me on
in Discord.
In Discord, your email. I will send you a link.
And that link will contain the sweet Horde Wars basics.
I cannot email you the PDF. It is too big.
Yes.
So
Point Blank, did you hear that? I hope, buddy. You're getting one. So, yeah.
Direct message over in Discord. Ah, there we go.
Cool. Yeah, I'm sure they'll get to you. All right.
I might. Cool. Maybe I have his email.
Who? Point Blank? Or somebody else? We've talked with these guys. We might have. I don't know if I have Bruce's email or not, but I know we can get it to him. I know Joe can. He has the ability. Joe's very skilled.
Yes.
So that would be a total of 6 we've given away. Next week we'll give 3 more. Send your friends. Yes. Hornman says he has multiple copies. He doesn't need it. We appreciate you letting folks do that.
Actually, I have a DM with Max. I can just post the link there.
Okay.
For Mr. Max.
Okay.
I think I can probably DM Bruce over there as well. I'm not sure about Point Blank. If Point Blank is a member of Discord, that I can just direct message him.
Larry Elliott is a PDF. It's not a hard copy. It's a PDF is what we're giving away. It's a PDF. And Boivin DM'd you on Discord.
He did. So
we got him.
I guess. Yeah, I will make sure to get that link out to you. I'm gonna have to do.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. I just have to make sure I have a live link to it and get that out to you. I'll do that tonight.
Yes, very cool.
Right after the show.
Hey, 28 millimeter showed up. What's up, brother? Glad you made it. Snuck in at the end, but that's okay. Better late than never. Let's see here. Don't know if Point Blank's already bolted. I hope not. Hope he's around. All right. Well, I'll make a note that Point Blank won, and if he doesn't chime in, if he left already, we'll let him know next week that he won.
Yes.
Okay.
Download a hard copy. Very funny.
Dice Tales. You're hilarious. Very funny. Now shut up. No, I'm just kidding. What is that from? You're very funny. Now shut up. That's Princess Bride.
Yes.
Whenever he's talking to the little boy, you're very funny. Now shut up.
Now shut up.
Yeah. All right, man. Awesome. Yeah. Very cool. I love giving that crap away.
Are you going to be able to contact Point Blank?
No.
So Point Blank, if you're still here listening to the live chat, you really need to say something. Because
I wrote his name down, and I'm going to write it on your forehead this weekend. And so next week, if we see him, we'll say, hey, Point Blank, you won, dude. DM to Joseph. Right?
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can post. I will post a whoops, did I just close it? I closed it like a stupid.
Oh, hey, he's back.
Hey, priorities.
Bathroom break. Natural needs. Right on, Dice Tail. You're the man.
All right, so Point Blank, are you in our Discord or not?
He said yes. He said yes. He's going to hit you up on Discord. He knows he won.
So I'll get everybody their link.
And I would like to give a nod to Dice Tales. Because Dice Tales says getting a disc from Princess Bride is a badge of honor. See, he's not like those wusses at Goodman Games that their fifis get all upset when somebody says, I don't like you. Right? You guys don't hear that, do you?
Yeah.
Well, poop.
We can hear your old fogey phone.
Dude.
I have one like that for when you call me
Yes.
on my cell phone.
Okay. Getting really aggravated. Okay, sorry. It's supposed to.
He was
actually
making
shut
a
up.
wish in the wish room.
Right on.
Alrighty then. Okay. On that note,
Yes, sir.
let's see here. I think that's all we have to say for tonight. Well,
think
I
so.
don't like any of you, but I have attention issues.
Fair enough, Mac.
Mac.
The Mac Daddy.
All right. So, starting with 2 episodes ago, we are going to put all of our links in the show notes and all of our calls to action to help us out or not. It's on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm lining up things so I can just hit the button and we can get out of here.
All right, man. Well, would you like me to do it, or are you comfortable doing the
I
outro?
I think I can handle it.
I was worried because remember what happened last time you did.
Last time I just said no outro.
Right. You said,
not
I'm out. Good night, folks.
We don't need no outro around here.
Stinking outro.
Stinking outro.
Thanks, everybody. It was awesome tonight. Good job. Thanks for chatting with us.
All right. This is Joe.
And this is Randy.
And remember, if you can't be big like us, then be geeks like us.